Hey folks, welcome to the biggest bubbling boulder I have ever built. Okay, this is the fun work. Hardscape is fun, but this is where it's really at. Here's what we have going. We set these last week when we were here, these 2 framing boulders, and now we just have a bunch of pieces. I just love looking back through here and all of those angles. It's gonna look really cool. I want to put another rock right out here so that the spillway will happen here, and there's just gonna be like a water level will be about here. So it's just, I wasn't sure I was gonna be really cracked up with how recessed this is. It's really back in there. I wasn't sure I was gonna like how water was gonna come off of here. So if we put water level here, it's just gonna give a little ripple there and it'll look okay. Then the primary falls will be out here. That'll add a really cool effect. What that's going to do is it's going to break this up and keep it from being a straight line. I'm not a big fan of straight lines. Like these are all one straight line. But if I put that here, I have a falls back here, a pool here, and a falls here, and a falls there, and now it's broken up. It's not a straight line. Coming back in here, this is going to be a tight stream. I really want to choke it down here. Probably set a little rock in here and foam around it so that I get some current. We have a lot of, we have 27,000 gallons of water an hour, so there's a lot of flow. So I really want to get some, without a waterfall, I really want to get some current so that it rips around here. I can do that by putting a rock in here and foaming it, and I can also do that by foaming around these rocks so that water can't go underneath it. It forces it all through here. Now, I really want to open it up here again. I'm actually going to start coming back this way with my next framing boulder, and we're going to create a big pooling area right here. And I'd love to get a big stump / log and fall it into the pool, running about like that angle. One of the things you want to keep in mind when you're building water features is where there's going to be viewing. A lot of the viewing is going to be on this driveway. So I want to keep the boulders on this side as low as I can, because if I have tall boulders there, I won't be able to see it. Now I can use hikes back here because that'll create a backdrop, and there's not going to be a lot of viewing from there. There is a road there, but it's just the scale. It's just the scales, and most of the traffic isn't going there. So I'm going to try to use my high boulders here and my low boulders there so that you can see it. After this pool, I want to choke it down again right here. So I'm going to choke it down right here in this area. Then this area is just going to be pooling again, and inside of that pool where my 3 giant bubbling rocks are going to sit. So that's the vision. Now to execute it. I'm really going to be pounding this out. I'm going to have this done by 6 o'clock this evening. Stand by. Indeed. Only optimism. Adopt that spirit. Come on. Did you ever try pushing a rope?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. You can't very well, huh? That's what it's like trying to get you going. Pushing a rope. He's rolling his eyes. He's not that bad. But I really want him to get all fired up because I want to get a lot done here this afternoon. Because I just spent all morning digging and liner seaming, and I want to build stuff. All right, let's go. Can she do it? It's a little bit light on the one end. Might be the, yeah, that's probably the heaviest rock I've ever set. She's probably 5 ton-ish. Let's go. Well, we brought out the chains. It's handling it pretty nicely now. folks, welcome to the biggest bubbling boulder I have ever built. It was a kind of dry summer for water features. We didn't do very many, and so this was fun. I enjoyed it. Really big boulders, lots of water flow, all the fun stuff. Long winding stream, very unique feature, a little bit different than what we commonly build because of how long the stream section is. I think it turned out really nice. I'll walk through it with you, talk about some of the design behind it. We didn't have very much drop, so Deej and I talked about it. We're like, yeah, we want a really dramatic waterfalls down here, and then that's it. So we used up all our hike in one falls, which I do fairly frequently. If I have the option whether or not to build like 3 6-inch waterfalls or 1 30-inch waterfalls, I'm gonna build the 30-inch one. So that's what we did here. You see me do this pretty frequently, where I do 2 framing boulders and a spillway, and then I'll move a rock into the front because that's gonna get 2 tiers. It's like I can change the direction of the water. So that is something that you can repeat. I do it pretty often. 2 framing boulders, a spillway, set a rock in front, get another spillway in, and you can get that twisty wind look. What's really neat about this one is the fact that it falls into there, falls over there. I love this pool, how it swirls around in there and falls over there. If you watch our channel, you know I'm all about getting water to fall multiple different directions. Some into this way, some reckoning that way. That's what it's all about. And you can do that if you see like jutting edges of the rock that it's gonna hit. Like this one here. Spills over here, hits this and makes it wreck into this stream. So a little bit of practice, you build a few of them, and those little features in the rock stick out to you. I really like the natural shape of this rock. That looks like it's been chewed out. As soon as I saw that, I was like, bingo, I know where I'm gonna put that rock. This is something I don't do very often because it can turn out sometimes not look very good. I have water falling onto another rock. I prefer that water lands into a pool, not onto a hard surface like a rock, because this can look really goofy sometimes. I was pretty reluctant to build that because this falls right onto the hard rock, and sometimes it splashes really stupid. But I think we got fairly fortunate on this. I'm happy with it. Then right behind these falls, I like to put rocks right behind in this direction so that you can get that twisty, winding effect in the stream. Always want to get it to turn. That's noisy. That's for the people that are gonna ask, and I know they're gonna ask. That's 3 5-9 Aquascape SLDs. Those are so 9, like 27,000 gallons an hour. Obviously it's less than that because you have head and all of that. So right away I wanted to pinch this down really tightly so that I get some current. It's very subtle, you hardly notice it, but if you look up there and see that stream of bubbles, how it comes through that point, wrecks into the wall, twists around here, it's the little things that make the difference in it looking natural. Also, with all these big boulders, DJ and I were talking about what can we do to soften it up, and we were like, oh, let's go get a big log. So we just went to the woods and found this thing and moved it in there. I really like it. It breaks it up a little bit, adds some contrast. I was happy what that one did for the feature. Once again, after the pooling area, I wanted to neck it down, really choke it down to get some current through there. Very happy how that turned out. This is just a deep pool. To be honest with you, there's a thing that I don't like about it. This ring of boulders going around the whole feature, they're all about the same size. It's all just a circle. I don't really care for it. It looks like somebody just stacked the ring of boulders in there, which is exactly what happened. I was out of boulders. I was using every rock that we had. So usually I'd have broken that up with some big ones and some flat ones, but I was using what I had. Those were the only rocks we had left. I also didn't have very much room in the liner, so I couldn't do any ins and outs, or I couldn't break up that line a bit with a little bit more character because I was out of liner space, and these bubbling boulders took up so much room as well. The reason I point out to you is to criticize my own work. I do make mistakes, and so when you come to build yours, you know what not to do. Make something good out of something bad. That bubbling boulder is probably the largest rock I've ever done. I would guess it to be 14,000 to 16,000 pounds.
Basically, that machine back there
Yeah,
could hardly lift it.
it was standing on end. I saw Deej's eyes get a little bit big, but then they went back to normal shape real quick. Like, he wasn't even phased by it. Deej never stresses out about anything, but I was a little bit stressed till I had that thing set. My legs felt a little shaky. We tore 2 straps setting it, and we got chains. It all worked out. Oh, funny story on these bubbling boulders. The guys that put in this feature, they own a mining company, and so they have like drilling rigs that drill a 7-inch hole, and I was like, that's gonna be too big. So he was traveling on the 219 on the way here, and he came across some road construction where these guys had a big drill on the end of an excavator, and they were drilling into the bank. So he just pulled over and was like, hey, can you drill my boulders? And they're like, yeah, I can drill your boulders. No one ever asked me that before. So he just pulled off, and they drilled a 3-inch hole in there, about 5 foot deep there. I found that rock over in the boulder field, that big guy, and growing into it was this tree. And I was like, I want that. Bring that. All of that. The rock, the stump, everything. And I'll just relocate it. So that tree originally grew around that rock, and it's still there. So I think they'll age together well. A little bit of a pooling area in there just to get some interest, different heights. And as always, everything's all lit up with our lights, and it looks pretty cool. If you like seeing these go in, yeah, first of all, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss them. Reach out in the comments with any questions, and if I can answer them, I'll do that for you. See you in the next one.